Welcome to Real Nerds. I am Ryan. To my left,
Brad.
To my right,
James.
And we have a studio audience member, Aaron Morris. Look her up on Facebook.
Don't, please. Take out my last name.
It'll be Aaron. Beep. Look her up on Facebook.
She could be assaulted at any time.
She could.
Assaulted at any time.
But you look so happy on Facebook. We had to mention it.
You know, unlike the real world where she's depressed.
No, I mean, her picture is so... I don't even know how to describe. Like, it's happy and and stuff.
Oh.
Hey, we saw The Rum Diary this week because we actually had the biggest response to a question on which movie we were going to see.
We did, and they decided we should see Puss in Boots, but I don't know, it was sold out or some shit, and none of us wanted to see it.
No,
so
most people put The Rum Diary. We had 6 for The Rum Diary.
wait, no, I thought Puss in Boots won.
Puss in Boots was in the lead, but then we had a bunch of people today select The Rum Diary.
Oh, really?
And after that, I will never let our fans select what movie I want to see again.
Oh.
Just kidding. But not really.
Though in the future we should probably only put movies on there that we all want, that at least one of us wants to see, because I don't want Puss in Boots to win again.
Real critics, they have to sit through everything.
Exactly. So.
Yeah, no, and hey, I mean, we'll get to it later.
I got
We'll
a
get
text
to it
message
later.
from James, and I said, hey, the people want us to watch Puss in Boots. He said, fuck the fans.
Whoa.
But you know what? I am not here to fuck the fans. I'm here to tenderly make love to them.
I believe I said it exactly like that, but the context was different.
No, it's like, fuck the fans. We'll make up some story why we couldn't see Puss in Boots. That is what the text said.
Yeah.
Projector on fire, could not see.
Could not see Puss in Boots.
Yeah, well, they weren't showing it in Colorado. That's the problem. That's actually the reason why we didn't see Anonymous as well, because I know
No,
you guys
down in
both...
Denver. It's just one theater.
Yeah, But maybe next week. Well, not next week.
Well,
but
not
the
next
after.
week.
Anyway.
I'll go see it on my own. It's fine.
No, I want to see it. I'll see
No.
it.
In 2 weeks, we got a dead week. We'll go see it then.
I don't want to wait 2 weeks.
Oh,
What?
you really want to see Roland Emmerich make a drama that bad?
Real Nerds Contest. You get to win tickets to go see Anonymous with Brad.
Hey.
Ooh, hey! I don't know if that's a good contest or pathetic.
Consolation prize, really.
Did anybody win his team Anonymous?
In all seriousness,
No one
if you-
entered the contest. Oh, God.
in all seriousness, though, if you send us an email this week, I will pay for you to go see that movie with Brad.
So there you
Ooh,
go,
yeah.
Real Nerds Cats.
Free movie, guys. Free movie,
James will
guys.
pay
Yeah.
for a movie just for you to see it with Brad.
I mean, you got to drive down
The
to
only
my house and
concession,
get the
you gotta
money,
do with me.
and then you can go. But
Hey, no, you can't. You put it out there. It's out there now.
it's out there. I'll pay for. I'm serious.
He'll pay for it.
It's okay. Nobody's listening.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Hey, it's real news time.
It's real news.
Kind of a light week in news.
It's a super light weekend.
Yeah, one of the things I thought was kind of interesting that I saw a little. It's like a treatment on Slash Film that's called Grim Night, which is kind of an interesting little premise. These guys made a little trailer where one night a year, these things that kind of look like the Dementors from Harry Potter. I'm sure when they have more money, they could make a better looking monster.
You mean like the bad guy from the Frighteners?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what it is, one night a year, these monsters come out and they kill people violently. And so you have to lock your doors and everything. So it's kind of an interesting premise where these monsters show up and it's made by these people, student guys, and they're given lots of money by Universal based on this little 2-minute kind of trailer movie pitch. So it was interesting.
To make a real movie out of it.
To make a real movie. So I don't know how long it'll take for them to make the movie. But
Cool.
Yeah, so I always like seeing stuff like that. It's interesting. I mean, the trailer's okay, but it has lots of promise. Like, it has these signs that 92,000 people killed, not forgotten, or something like that. Kind of a District 9 kind of feel to it.
Well, I was just gonna say that's how District 9 started. As it started as like a little student film trailer.
Yeah.
That then became a whole movie.
So it's kind of cool. I love seeing little projects like that can help aspiring young filmmakers.
Absolutely.
I also read that Steven Spielberg kind of apologized for Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Kingdom with the Crystal Skull. Well, I don't know if he apologized or blamed George Lucas for how bad it was.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked about this recently or a couple months back, because he said some similar things then, but this time he really came out and said, I really hated the story for Indiana Jones 4. Which we kind of knew also when that happened. Part of the reason why the movie took so long to make was that Steven Spielberg and Harrison Ford had a guy, and I believe it was the guy who wrote The Last Crusade, who had written a script, and they really liked that script.
And they loved the Frank Darabont wrote a script too that they loved.
Oh, that's right. I remember that too.
Him and Harrison Ford signed on for that script.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Anyway, there was a script that they really liked, and then George Lucas was like, "No, we gotta have aliens," and just sort of to make everybody happy, they conceded. But
I guess the only reason Steven Spielberg signed on is because he wanted the crystal skulls, and Lucas wanted to make them there from aliens because the crystal skulls are real.
They are. Well, and aliens are an actual part of the Crystal Skull mythology, sort of, or at least they're one explanation of where those came
And
from.
I'll still say this: I don't think it's that bad of a movie.
Yeah,
I don't think it is either. I think that plot-wise, it's not a bad movie. I think that the CG and the way that the action scenes are set up, and some of the stuff that's shoehorned in there is not very good. I think Kate Blanchett does a pretty piss poor job, but
I think the best part in this interview I read with Spielberg, though, is they asked him, they said, "Yeah, and what about Lucas with the nuke and the refrigerator?" And he said, "Nope, that was my fault. You can blame me on that one." So,
oh, good for him.
That's kind of funny.
Well, have I told you the story? I know I haven't talked about it on the podcast, but the original ending for Back to the Future 1 was that because originally there wasn't a DeLorean or anything like that. So in the original script, he had to drive a truck into a nuclear explosion, and then he put a rock down on the gas pedal, climbed into the back of the truck, and crawled into a refrigerator, and then.
Really?
And then the lead from the refrigerator was supposed to protect him from the radiation, and then the nuke was going to send him forward in time, right? Huh. And that was the original idea of how they traveled through time. But George Lucas said, "I don't want to do that because I don't want kids to play with refrigerators." Not George Lucas. Steven Spielberg said, "I don't want kids to play with refrigerators." And then, of course, 20 years later, he put that in his own movie, and you're like, "What the fuck are you doing? Come on."
And I guess the last little bit of news I have is, not surprisingly, AMC has already picked up The Walking Dead for season 3.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah,
because based on what we've seen so far of this season, Ryan and I think know how the season is going to end, or where it's going to end, and you really, really don't want it to end there.
No, that'd be heartbreaking.
A third season, like if a third season comes out and it doesn't do very well, 3 seasons of that show will be good enough that you could put it away and be like, okay, that was fun for a while, Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it, guy. I think I saw something else, but I can't remember what it is. So,
whatever. While Joss Whedon was on vacation from the Avengers, he got all of his friends together and they filmed a version of Much Ado About Nothing.
Yeah, that's actually
2 or 3 weeks or something like that.
He does that all the time. Not film it, but if you watch the Buffy behind the scenes, I'm sure you've seen it of Once and More with Feeling, which is the musical episode. He invites all his cast members to the house, and they drink and sing and recite Shakespeare. Yeah, but it's kind of interesting.
But this time he actually made a movie of it, which is it's funny. Actually, last Saturday I watched Kenneth Branagh's Much Ado About Nothing, which is I would almost call it half good. It's not amazing. It's not as good as his Hamlet, but seeing Denzel Washington and of course Kenneth Branagh and a couple of those other people do Shakespeare is great. Unfortunately, it also has Keanu Reeves doing Shakespeare, which is not great.
Whoa!
But I really look forward to what Joss Whedon's gonna do.
Me too.
Yeah,
he's always good.
Anyway, that's all the news I have. Brad, you got anything?
No.
It was a shit week. It really was.
I guess there's a little PS to the Netflix scandal. They lost 800,000.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
It's sort of the
follow up on that story.
Oh, I guess we can confirm that The Dark Knight Rises will be before Ghost Protocol.
Prints of Ghost Protocol.
It's the Dolby Digital ones. So you have to research and find which ones are Dolby Digital.
Well, I think it's the real. I think it's only in front of real IMAXs. So if it's an AMC IMAX, then that's not real.
Something like that.
But if it's like the one down at our Dave and Buster's, that one will have.
So we'll have to go see it there. And the new
except
trailer
that I think
is pretty amazing.
I think it's pretty much confirmed that it's simply 8 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever of the movie.
6 minutes.
6 minutes, whatever. It's 6 minutes of the movie. I don't really want to see 6 minutes of that movie. We talked about that when you were on the phone last week.
Yeah, I listened to the podcast. Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to see a sequence of that movie before I get to see the movie.
I know. I got really pumped when I saw the one for The Dark Knight. You know,
I can.
But when you saw, because the one for The Dark Knight was the bank robbery scene, right? When you saw that movie start again, did you feel like, oh, okay, I've seen this before?
No, actually, I got excited because I kind of wanted to see where it went. Because if I
because the original one
It's not really part of the main plot. It's just kind of
Yeah.
like an introduction to
of the Joker,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how crazy he is. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't in the 6-minute preview he just takes off the masks and that's where it ends?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see him drive away on the bus and everything. And,
right.
You know, it's like the 89 Batman spends like half an hour getting up to dropping him in the vat of chemicals. Nolan does it in 6 minutes.
And
introducing
I mean,
the Joker.
what the 89 Batman has too is an animated Batman on a rooftop at the very beginning. That's an amazing movie.
Speaking of the animated Batman, and I have to spoil this for you for as far as the game you're playing through, but in Batman Arkham City, you get to punch a shark in the face.
Nice.
But I know that having seen the opening scene is also part of what ruined Despicable Me for me. A lot of people like that movie, but
I love that movie.
I just couldn't get into it and didn't
No.
really enjoy. I mean, there were little parts that I really enjoyed, but I wasn't really a fan. And part of it was that the first couple minutes of the movie, which is the whole thing at the pyramid, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had seen that dozens of times because that whole scene was made into a trailer, and so I knew every single beat. And so by the time the actual movie sort of started after that, I was just in this groove where I was like, I'm not into this. And so I'm always afraid when it's something like that where they're going to show you the first few minutes of the movie, that it'll taint the rest of the movie for me, because those first few minutes are supposed to sort of suck you in. But anyway, that's all the news we have.
Yeah, it's all the news. I literally was looking like there's absolutely nothing this week that is anything that's interesting at all. So I guess we'll just go into what we've been watching. I was trying to make it more exciting.
It was a nice try.
It really was.
Let's talk about The Walking Dead.
Yeah, let's talk about Brad. You caught up to The Walking
Yep,
Dead,
I'm all caught up.
and you saw Carl being shot.
That's right.
Oh, spoilers.
Yeah, that's
Oops.
all right.
No, it's fine.
Real Nerds is a spoiler show.
Yeah,
It is. Well, and
It
it's
is.
been 2 weeks since that happened, so it's okay.
And
were you shocked when he got shot? I don't know. I because you never read the graphic novels.
Yeah,
so.
I'm all I know about The Walking Dead is from the TV show.
Right.
So, but I wasn't really sucked into that first episode. So when it happened, I was like, oh, all right. Well, this is where we're going now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
See, I thought the first episode was really good, and then the second one, I was always worried because they cut the budget down. But if they have character moments like they have in that, then it's okay. Yeah,
because there have been less zombies so far this season, but I don't really feel like I miss it. It's weird. I've heard people criticize the season so far as saying that it's just sort of meandering, which we'll talk about meandering later, but that it's just sort of meandering and it doesn't feel like they're going anywhere. And I hate to break it to people, but that's kind of what The Walking Dead is. I mean, there are always sort of short-term goals, but I've heard people talk about they need to get into whether or not there's going to be a cure or things like that. Well, there's not. I mean, that's why they did the CDC stuff. There is no cure. We're not even talking about what zombies are. This is about living in zombies. And so it is going to be a show where this week they lose a little girl and chase her into the woods. And I don't know that they set that up very well. Sophie disappearing, it is a little bit forced. Why does he leave her there and then go beat them to death with a rock over there? Why did he get so far away?
There's a lot of cliches, really early on. The girl can't put the gun together, right away. She fumbles it, and then people, get lost in the woods. The zombie walks by, and then, sniffs out the one character under the car. You see it coming. There's just a lot of stuff that's you've seen in a lot of. I don't know. The first 3 episodes of the last season seem more compelling to me. So
I don't disagree, but I don't think the show has gone bad or anything like that. It's just
it's only 2 episodes in, so of a not just 6 episode, but 12, 13 episode season.
Yeah, and I think part of it is we have to be careful about not holding it to the standard of that first episode. That first episode is, an amazing piece of art made by a really talented director and writer, and the rest. Now we're just talking about a TV show, and it needs to be compared to, other kinds of shows. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of shows like it, so it's hard to compare it to anything. But we can't expect a little movie every week, especially on the budget that it has, unfortunately.
Pan Am.
Like Pan Am, absolutely.
Well, no, I think there's... but the second episode had great moments when...
I think the second episode's great. Yeah.
When Rick and Herschel are talking on the porch, or is it... I think it's Rick, or is it Shane. Can't remember. I'm so stupid right now. But Herschel is basically saying that, oh no, the rest of the world, we're okay here, which is his big downfall in the comic book, is where he thinks he's so isolated from this incident that he's impervious to what happens. And I mean, I won't spoil what happens on the farm, but
right. And some of those things are things that hopefully the show will have this, where when you look back at a single episode, you see larger arcs in that episode, and they become more powerful once you've seen whole stories, much in the way that Mad Men is. But the show doesn't blow me away every week, but I'm still enjoying it. Sure.
I still think it has some quiet moments, and I think the acting in it's really good.
It is. Yeah.
Besides Rick's opening in the first episode.
Oh yeah, the first episode
starts
he's
recapping
really wrong,
it, and
bad
like, oh, they really didn't need that.
Yeah, typical expositional.
Yeah, and I guess they're trying to get people to watch the show, but I'm pretty sure you watch the show going into this. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, I also
just like Stan Lee says, it could be everyone's first comic book.
Yeah. I watched Captain America again.
Oh yeah, because that came out on DVD this week.
I did, and I think it's an awesome movie. And getting on Blu-ray, the scrawny Steve Rogers actually looks way better than when we saw it on the screen.
Oh, cool.
And the movie is beautiful on Blu-ray because it has that awesome Art Deco look to it. So like the colors are kind of faded, but they have that really nice like wash to them.
Right.
And oh man, and the movie's badass.
Yeah.
And if you go to Best Buy, you can get the slipcover that has Captain America punching Hitler on the back, so that's pretty sweet.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
How much is it?
$22.
Oh, that's only $2 more than Walmart. I'm gonna have to do that.
Yeah, it's badass.
That's
Sweet.
until Sunday.
Yeah.
One more day.
Well, actually, I've been going to Best Buy, and their movies have been on sale for a lot longer lately. I think it's because they must not be selling them as much as Target and Walmart, because there was a time like 3 or 4 months ago I wouldn't even go to Best Buy because they'd be $28.99 instead of $34, and they slowly bumped them all up, and now they're starting to go back down. I think because people aren't buying them as much.
And I think a lot of stuff is on sale more at my Best Buy, because my Best Buy is the one where they're putting in a Foot Locker, and they're like, were you here?
I told
you about that? Yeah, they're remodeling the store, and they're putting in like a mini mall inside of the Best Buy, which will include a Foot Locker.
Oh yeah, I remember reading something about that where they're
it's insane. Yeah, it's the Park Meadows one.
They're doing those in a lot of test stores because Best Buy, a lot of people are going to digital, so they don't sell as many hard copies of things, and that's why I know now it's in like a little corner, and now they try to sell appliances and all that stuff more.
Yeah,
and
so basically,
Best Buy Mobile.
I would almost say that a third, maybe a fourth of the store is getting walled off and turned into little stores.
I saw they pulled out Magnolia. Like they don't have their own special section anymore.
Well,
they're there, but they don't have like a.
It's like a couple of aisles instead of this big walled off section, where you can listen to their awesome speakers, and it's like, oh, you want to buy some stuff over there? It's over in that corner,
But yeah, so now I'm going back and forth on what my favorite superhero movie is this year.
It's Thor.
Because when I watched X-Men First Class, I'm like, oh, this movie's so cool. And then I watched Thor, I'm like, oh, this movie's so cool.
That's Thor.
And then I watched Captain America. This movie, I'll have to keep on watching it.
I guess I'll have to see Captain America again, but it doesn't matter because it's Thor. Did you watch anything else?
I did. This is the last thing I watched. I watched UHF for the first time in years.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say for the first time. No, I was excited.
And that movie is so stupid, but so smart at the same time.
It's awesome.
I can't really... and Laura, I could tell, hated it. Because
oh, she would.
She doesn't get that kind of humor, and the opening when he's doing the Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark, I'm sorry. And he whips that dude's arm off. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this now. And it's totally Weird Al's humor where it's really funny but also has really dark moments to it. And I was just laughing my ass off.
There's a lot of references in there that I didn't get when I first saw that movie, and then got older and finally got to see all the Rambo movies, and then seeing that movie again, I'm like, that is totally what that movie is like. Like he just
shoots
sort of
all those dudes on the top of the hill.
He sort of just takes it to the next level, and that makes it ridiculous. And then you realize, well, he's not really that far off. No. That's part of what's so funny about it.
Or the last part where he's like, ah!
Yeah.
So stupid, but it's so amazing.
Oh man.
Or when she
all the crazy shows they make for the network.
Oh yeah. When G4 recently recreated Find the Marble in the Oatmeal, which it wasn't good. It was offensive and stupid because it was basically like, let's take the two hot chicks from the show and then have them wrestle in the oatmeal.
Nice.
And then we're gonna like shoot a little water at them.
Oh yeah, when the kid got hit with the fire hose,
You get to
drink from the
fire
And the kid
hose.
just shoots across the fucking screen. Oh
Oh,
man,
that movie's great.
But I think my favorite part was when he goes and talks to his girlfriend, and she goes, you're fired again. Why? It's because I'm stupid, okay? I'm so stupid. He keeps on banging his head against the counter. He's like, oh, cool, mashed potatoes, my favorite. And then he just goes away. And he makes some sort of mountain out of him.
It's fun. It's really too bad because every now and then you see an interview with Weird Al where somebody asks him like, "When are you going to make a feature film again?" And he never really has a good answer. Mostly it's like, well, if I had a good idea or somebody really offered him the money to do it, because that's probably the other thing is nobody actually thinks that UHF 2 would ever make any money. But it's a shame because I would love to see that. No matter what he did, it would be fun.
Yeah, it was pretty epic, and I totally forgot all the little stupid shows they had on there, and what was the show that made me? Conan the Librarian.
Yeah. Oh man,
cuts that dude in half. Is that movie rated PG too?
Do you have a budget for that show? On UHF?
Oh,
or when the
man.
kid spits in his face. I mean, So it made me laugh. That's what I watched.
Supplies.
Yeah.
That movie's great, absolutely great. And Weird Al was
You
in.
get to choose from The Wheel of Fish.
Stupid.
Yes. Oh, I forgot about that.
That's not
I was like, "What time is it?" And that dude punched through the wall and looked at his watch.
We were talking about this before the podcast. Weird Al was on How I Met Your Mother this week, where spoilers since you didn't see the episode, but you find out that Marshall is the inspiration for Like a Surgeon.
Awesome.
Or no, was it? No, it's Ted. Ted sends him a letter with the idea for Like a Surgeon. But anyway, it was really good.
That's it. That's what I watched this week.
Brad, what did you see?
I saw a lot. I actually tried a bunch of different shows this week.
Dude.
So I finished The Walking Dead, or got caught up on The Walking Dead. I also decided to give Heroes a shot.
Oh, fuck.
I watched the first episode, and then I turned to Mad Men. I'm not ready to...
No, hold on. Let's talk about Heroes for a second. Did you downright hate it, or were you like, this is okay, but because of what I've heard that it doesn't really go anywhere, I'm gonna set it down?
No, I'm giving it a chance. But I wasn't impressed by the first episode, but I recognize that's not.
So you're saying
enough
it's
to
Jeff
judge it with.
Loeb's The Red Hulk, not Jeff Loeb's Spider-Man Blue.
It was like watching.
Hey, people really like. Some people like the Red Hulk.
It was like watching myself read a mediocre comic book.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Jeff Loeb comic book.
Oh, what are you talking about? Halloween's awesome.
No, The Long Halloween's great. Hush is great.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Blue is great. Hulk Gray is great.
Heroes not so much.
Heroes not so much.
I thought that was Grant Morrison though.
The
Which one? Jeff Loeb. Heroes.
Which one?
Heroes is Jeff Loeb.
No, it's Jeff Loeb.
Okay.
The interesting thing about Heroes for me was that I didn't want to watch that show because I thought, like, oh, well, this is just crummy X-Men. Like, obviously you are ripping off the X-Men. Yeah, but you're not doing a very good job of it, and then you're going to try to make it into Lost, and it won't be fun. But then, after, like, when I'd seen the first 4 episodes, I actually started really enjoying it, but then it never goes anywhere. And
Yeah,
in fact,
it tanked pretty bad.
Oh, yeah. Joss Whedon even... in talking about how they were going to try to not make Dollhouse jump the shark, he said, well, I think we'll be all right as long as we never go to feudal Japan. And that is a reference to Heroes, which you will understand at some point.
If I get that far.
If you get that. Yeah, spoilers, at some point, they travel back in time to feudal Japan. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but it happens. And then Mad Men.
Yeah, so I gave Mad Men a shot, and that's not terrible as Ryan puts it, but it's not nearly as compelling as Breaking Bad to me. So it's a show where
No, it's not as compelling as Breaking Bad. I would say that.
Or interesting, but the aesthetic is nice, and I can put it on, and I can not pay attention to it and still understand what the whole episode was about.
Yeah, because they sit around and talk for an hour.
So,
how far did you get?
I'm still in season 1, but I think I'm on like episode 11 or something.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you got good and into it. Yeah.
I like it enough that I'm going to keep going and going, but it's just like with Breaking Bad, which I also watched the last 2 episodes of season 3, so I'm all caught up with everything I can watch, and just those 2 episodes compared to all the other stuff I've been watching are like way better than.
Oh yeah,
when Walt hits those drug dealers with his car, he's like, Jesse's just freaked out. He's like, run, and then the episode ends, and then it goes into the whole makes the phone call. And it's,
yeah. No, I know.
So good.
And I would agree with you that Breaking Bad is definitely more compelling. Mad Men is a show I think that as you watch more, I'm glad that you're going to keep watching it. As you watch more, it's kind of like math, where it builds each season and everything gets a little bit more complicated, and you know those characters more, that I think you care more. Because I was the same way. Like, I watched the first season, and then I don't even know that I watched the second season until the third one had started. But
my favorite is January Jones on Mad Men. Just kidding.
She's maybe the worst part of that show.
She's been nice so
and
far,
I'm so glad that bitch dies.
What?
I wish she doesn't die. It would be nice if she died.
I want to punch Pete Campbell in the face.
Yes, exactly.
And Don Draper, like,
that's what's great about that show.
Because he's like, the
hero.
Well, like, as a designer, like, the most interesting part about Mad Men for me is actually watching the ad campaigns.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, as a graphic
especially
designer,
early on,
like, part of myself, but at the same time, like, Don Draper's kind of a shithead because he's like a good-looking guy, and he. Like, January Jones isn't enough for him, and then that other hippie chick isn't enough for him, and it's just like...
Absolutely. No.
Hey, did you guys see the episode where he went and did drugs with that one girl?
Yeah.
And they sit around and talked, and then it just ended?
Yeah, I saw that episode.
That show's terrible.
Yeah, I saw that episode. I'm glad that you say it that way, because there are some people who may or may not be in our live audience, and Sierra, who's not here, who really hate January Jones, and really hate her character, mostly because they've completely forgotten that in season 1, Donna's a dick to her, and she's not such a bad person then, and it's good. That show is good, and she is not a horrible person.
You know what's weird?
I don't really care about
with
yours.
Mad Men? I have seen one episode 3 times. And it's the episode where she becomes like a Coke model. I saw it at your house. I saw it when Laura was here. And I turned it on one day and it was on. I'm like, I hate this fucking show.
I did see X-Men First Class again like a couple of days ago. Oh my god, every single line read that she does in that movie.
It's pretty bad.
It's like she's
just
gotten the script
and
has been asked to read it out.
It's a shit. I think that, like, someone on the set of Mad Men gave her direction, like, could you read these lines like there's absolutely no emotion in your soul at all? And then she just sort of took that to heart entirely, and she probably is like that in real life now. Because why they chose her to be Emma Frost still makes no sense to me. Because she doesn't.
Now. I can't imagine how she talks to that baby. Hello, baby.
She does not in any way, like, capture the all-knowing kind of nature that Emma Frost is. Emma Frost is supposed to be like a puppet
Emma Frost
master.
is a lame character. Anyway.
No. In that movie, she is. But
in
Emma
the comic
Frost,
she's lame too. I read Joss Whedon's Astonishing X-Men. It's lame.
No, come on, no. Anyway, let's move on.
Fight!
We need to move on. I also watched some episodes of Frasier just to round out, kill time. And
that's good and pretentious.
Yeah.
Easy to watch.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised how different it is from Cheers, but.
Oh yeah.
I mean, granted, it's like the isolated, just the brainy part of Cheers, but still, it's just like it's kind of.
Did those shows ever? How long was between those shows? They didn't overlap at all, did they?
I think Cheers ended in 91 or 92, and then Frasier started in 93, I think.
Oh, okay.
So
it just seems much more modern than, like, Cheers feels very dated to me, whereas Frasier does not.
Even in the 90s, Cheers feels like the 80s.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe it's because it's Rhea Perlman's hair.
Yeah, like when you compare Cheers to even early seasons of Roseanne feels like the 90s and Cheers does not. Yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
Cool. Well, I watched a bunch of shit this week too, which is good since we had no news. The first thing is this is the week that Once Upon a Time came out, which is the show by a couple of the creators from Lost. Mm-hmm. It's got Jennifer Morrison from House in it, and that show's probably not good. Have you guys ever read Fables, the comic book Fables? Okay, this is like Fables, only They don't do the story as well. It's not anywhere near as interesting. There's no mystery involved. There's nobody as cool as Bad Wolf.
What do you mean?
And there's a lot of
Rumpelstiltskin, dude. I've seen the promo shots for it.
Actually, Rumpelstiltskin is the coolest thing about the show.
Really? I was just kidding. You look stupid.
Oh, no. Rumpelstiltskin is the coolest thing about the show. Basically, there's this girl, and there's this woman played by Jennifer Morrison who, it's her birthday.
I was going to say Ginnifer because it's a G.
No, it's not.
Isn't it spelled Ginnifer? I think it is.
No, it's a J. It's a J.
I think it's Jennifer.
It's
like regular way.
Yeah, it's just regular
I don't think
Jennifer.
so.
No, it's
I don't
just
think so.
Jennifer.
I'm Entertainment Weekly. I'll go get it.
Okay. Anyway, like her long
be the
lost
dickhead.
her long lost son shows up on her door that she like gave away for adoption when she was little, and he's trapped in this town that's full of all of these characters from like fairy tale stories, but they don't know that they're from fairy tale stories because there was the witch put a curse, and then Jennifer Morrison is fabled to save the town, but it's just not as interesting as what's actually going on in Fables, but it's such a close... They're so similar in plot that I don't know why they didn't just try to make Fables.
Yeah, in my Entertainment Weekly, they actually reviewed Grimm and that.
Oh,
and
yeah?
they said Grimm was way better. Grimm is made by the guys who made Angel.
Oh, cool.
And so they said if
Oh,
you're
yeah,
going
I
to
saw
watch
that.
one, you should watch Grimm.
Yeah. I
won't watch either, so I don't know.
I'll give Grimm a chance, but I don't think I'm going to watch Once Upon a Time again because it was just too predictable and lame, to be honest with you. And then the other thing was I took the time to go and rent Bridesmaids because it finally got on Redbox, and that movie is only okay. Did you guys see it?
I did.
I didn't. Like, I've heard people rave about it so much, and I wasn't like... It
was
didn't blow
alright.
me away, but what it did do was it sort of pointed out to me the difference between the Apatow movies and the Hangover movies. Because people talked about this as, like, The Hangover with girls in it. But the truth is, there's a lot more... There's the kind of character development and story that I expect from an Apatow movie, and that's actually the stuff that I liked. I didn't really find much of it funny, to be honest with you. I don't think I ever actually laughed at the movie. But it was more fulfilling than the Hangover movies are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I thought the movie was okay, too. I mean, I didn't like when she hung out with the good-looking cop, and then he went out and got her cupcake things, and she got all mad. Like, ugh, so stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems so much forced. And it's better if she's, like... Kristen Wiig is good when she's just trying to be funny and be herself, and
Yeah.
I don't like that forced character development at all.
Yeah, I feel like if there were more like improv in the movie, then that would have been funnier than the stuff that was clearly written, supposed to be like, oh no, they're all sick and they're throwing up in the bathroom. Isn't this funny? No, it's not really funny. But the good character stuff, I think, especially was the Maya Rudolph, her relationship with Maya Rudolph.
Yeah.
Like that relationship was well written and complex, and that's what I really enjoyed. But it's not really a movie I would recommend.
Yeah.
I didn't,
I saw it once. I don't need to see it again.
Yeah. Also, An Idiot Abroad is back. And I didn't know this, but they're like 6 episodes into An Idiot Abroad. Which, have you guys ever seen the show?
I know
Okay.
of it, but I haven't.
So, Ricky Gervais has this friend with a very round head who's a buffoon. And basically, Ricky Gervais and his writing partner send this guy around the country to do things that normal people would think was exciting and really interesting, but basically Carl Pilkington just thinks that it's kind of lame and boring, and he doesn't even really understand why he's there. And it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. The first season he's going to see like the 7 wonders of the world, and this season he's marking things off on his bucket list. But it's not really his bucket list because it's not stuff he would want to do. It's stuff that other people would want to do, like swimming with dolphins, but then he just fucking hates it because he's Carl Pilkington. Anyway, the show is really great. And Sierra just arrived, and I just realized I forgot to burn them onto DVDs for her, so she's going to kill me. And then the last thing I saw was The Great Muppet Caper, because I'm trying to catch up on my Muppet movies, and that movie doesn't hold up.
No?
It really does. Like, for one thing, it's a lot about Miss Piggy, and I don't like Miss Piggy, as I said last week. But it's mostly songs and sort of plot, and it's not as fun as the first movie.
Did you see the new Muppets trailer?
I did.
Epic.
The
The
Muppets
parody
trailer
trailer?
that starts
Yeah,
off
it's
them making fun of
Paranormal
their
Activity.
own...
Oh my god.
It starts off them parodying their own
Yeah.
own trailer, and then
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
it was good. Anyway, that's everything I saw.
Sweet. Busy week watching stuff, guys.
Well, we had to make up for the news.
Yeah, because news was blah this week.
Speaking of blah.
Hey, you know what? Before we get into talking about the Rum Diary, Brad, should people see the Rum Diary?
I'm sorry, I just woke up. What?
James, should people see the Rum Diary?
Okay, I'm gonna say that if you're interested in it based on the trailer, and on like knowing that it's a Hunter S. Thompson story, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, then don't see it. If you do know what I'm talking about, I would say rent it.
I will say absolutely not see this movie. It was terrible. Aaron, should people see this movie?
I got sleepy. Like when Amber Heard got her tits out, I was kind of yawning a little bit. So I don't know.
So Amber Heard's tits got Aaron yawning. So I mean, that'll tell you about the movie. Here's the trailer.
Puerto Rico. I came down here looking for a story.
It's called journalism. Your resume, huh? Don't look so anxious. I wouldn't have paid for your hotel if I hadn't already hired you.
But I found the strangest paradise on earth.
Hey, you made it.
But you said you had a TV.
The guy across the alley has a TV. I have binoculars.
It's where your secrets come to dance.
Don't notice the wig.
And the voodoo works its magic. And if the drinking doesn't get you into trouble...
How does anybody drink 161 miniatures?
Are they not complimentary? The women definitely will.
I thought maybe you were a mermaid.
I'm from Connecticut.
Stay away from her. She's Sanderson's fiancée.
She sunbathes in the nude.
Shake it like two maracas.
She's a sweet little beauty.
I was looking at his boat.
We've all been down on her. It's a wonderful experience.
Now, all this might sound like some crazed hallucination, but it's all true. I think.
This place is a sea of money, Paul. And there's people like me who know how to get it out.
Isn't that kind of thing illegal?
It's an inappropriate comment.
We've nailed this bastard to his own front door. I got a story for you. I'm going after him.
Are you out of your mind?
I'll bet you scream before I do.
No such thing as 470 proof alcohol.
What we do is private.
Front seat's gone.
I've got a brilliant idea.
Try and look normal.
So how fucking long was this movie?
It was less than 2 hours.
I know, but it seemed like it was an eternity.
I know. I thought we were on hour 3.
It's like an
No.
18-part movie.
Yeah.
Well, it's because the movie doesn't really so much have a plot as it does sort of meander, which, I mean,
Hey, that's
going
a callback
in,
to earlier.
it is a callback to earlier. Going in, I knew that, and maybe that affects, the problem I have with this movie is mostly the momentum because it's meandering like that.
It's terrible.
It goes from what I think was one fun scene to then setting up the next fun scene. Like there are it's almost like there's vignettes in the movie, and some of those vignettes have really cool climaxes, but the momentum is really terrible. And so when it shifts from one of those little stories, one of those little offshoots to another one, it kind of gives you whiplash. But there's an elephant in the room, which unfortunately was
Is it
really
the terrible editing?
No. The elephant in the room is a really loud, retarded, clapping elephant, which is that I think part of the reason why the momentum doesn't work for me was that I was constantly being distracted by the worst audience I think I've ever been in. Like I don't know, dude. At times this lady was drunk as shit, and at times she was just clapping to the music. She was just like clapping to the music just because she could. Hey,
Aaron, you need candy or something? Jiminy Christmas.
Oh.
Speaking of knowing audiences,
you can go ahead and get one. Go ahead and get.
If you want, on top of my fridge, there's literally a bag that's 3/4 full, just full of candy.
No, really, just take one. No, it's just
my
making it worse.
gosh.
Oh my god. Anyway, so this woman. I mean, really,
it was terrible.
I think that the movie could have been more enjoyable if I had been able to really get into it, because I think it sets up a cool.
I disagree too, but the lady was terrible. And if you go to our blog on realnerds.tumblr.com, you can see a hazy picture of her that I took with a caption. And but the movie it was so sloppily written, and it's like, hey, here's Aaron Eckhart. He dropped off a card, and he goes away for seemed like 5 hours.
Oh,
and
you're
then
right.
And then he comes back, and then Johnny Depp, and then they order. Fuck. The movie's colors were terrible. The palette in the movie was terrible. I didn't like the cinematography at all.
It changed. Yeah, no, I agree with you.
It was like
there.
hazy and drawn out. But anyways, do you notice that
There were times when it hurt my eyes a little.
When it's
Yeah,
like,
I'll say that.
2 hamburgers, and then they sit down, and then they have new drinks, and they're like, "Let's get out of here," and they leave, and they have hamburgers.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
No.
You never saw them drop off the hamburgers. All of a sudden, they just have them, and they're leaving.
No. You have to look at this movie as this is a story about a couple of guys who are basically drunk the entire time.
I understand that part.
Wandering around, not doing much. For one thing, the premise of the movie is that Johnny Depp gets hired. He plays a guy named Paul. I don't think we ever really see, well, not until the end of the movie, do we ever really see him write anything? But people keep hiring him. People with lots of money keep hiring him to write things.
Exactly.
It's actually the same.
Have a reputation of some sort.
Yeah, it's actually the same thing that happens in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, where
that's why
people hire
movie
him. People hire him to write things. He has no idea what he's doing. He never gets anything done. People give him more money, and he uses it on alcohol and drugs. And then he wanders around like watching chickens fight, and having sex with Amber Heard, and that's the whole movie.
He never really had sex with her, though.
This is true.
The one money shot, you kind of saw some nip, and then it just cut away to an Adolf Hitler speech.
Yeah, see, that was great.
No, I disagree.
No, Giovanni Ribisi is great in this movie.
He's good in every movie, but
I know, but in this movie, he is also great. That character was really fun.
Yeah, he was all right, but
all of a sudden he was dressed like a Nazi and listening to Hitler speak.
And he had a Jewish name, so that was kind of funny.
Oh,
Fred, you're quiet. I mean, what did you think of the movie? I thought it was terrible.
I don't remember the hamburger scene because I think I fell asleep 10 minutes in, and then woke up, and then fell back asleep over and over again until about the hour mark. And then it's just like you said. I was bored. And I was constantly like, "Oh, something is actually going to build to something," and then it would just go into this lost, meandering side quest of a movie, and then come back, and then towards the end, it finally builds to this whole, land building.
Yeah, because he
kind of cheat the government plot.
He kind of learns,
and then
like,
it dies again.
He gets a fire under him where he's like, no, I don't like these horrible people doing this shit, and I'm gonna try and blow the whistle on them. And then he
complete waste of time because
he
they
bets a bunch of money on
company.
Fighting roosters, and then
they're like, oh, hey, by the way, this newspaper's gone.
So he steals a boat.
It's like you're riding a roller coaster that just keeps on going up. It never drops and gets you to.
It goes up, it goes up, it goes up again, it plateaus again,
exactly.
It goes up, it plateaus another time.
It goes up, and then suddenly you're actually at the bottom again, but you don't remember getting there, and then it starts going up again, and you're like, we're starting.
It goes to the very top, and then just slowly lowers you back to the bottom.
You go to the top where you get on an elevator. No drop. That lowers you down.
See, I thought that was actually an artistic choice that he made. That maybe that's why you never saw them get the hamburgers, or maybe why sometimes it seems like the story bounces. No, because I mean it's not like that part, simple... but the story jumps all over the place.
Yeah,
I think I was thinking if they're drunk, so he might not remember the story he's telling, or it's just terrible editing and writing in the movie. Well, Johnny Depp really wanted to have this movie made. And I don't know why, because Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, everyone's like, oh, cool movie. That movie's fucking terrible, too.
It is a weird and not good movie.
Though, just like this movie.
Though it's in the record books because it is the most stolen movie of all time. That's why Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That's why you'll never find it in a Blockbuster. It's really hard to get it in stores because people just steal that movie all the time. So if you meet anybody who owns that movie, they stole it.
Or, they take those eye drops to get high. And he's like, how long have you had it? Oh, like 5 minutes. And then you sit there and watch him sit there for 5 minutes. And then the tongue comes out, and he's like, you have the same to say. And then they're outside walking.
It's like terrible CGI.
Yeah, terrible CGI.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Christ almighty.
But there are little stories in the movie that I enjoy. But it doesn't really go anywhere.
Even
You're
Richard
right.
Jenkins, who I love in movies, I didn't like in this movie. I'm like,
No,
dude,
well,
you're
because
lame.
he's kind of playing a bad guy.
Is really a bad guy?
Yeah. Because in the
Oh,
end,
I'm going to cover up because people won't read my newspaper. Oh, that guy's terrible. Like J. Jonah Jameson.
No. He lets it go
depressed and
He
sad
lets it
J.
go
Jonah
bankrupt
Jameson.
so that he doesn't have to. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah. I'd sit there and be nodding off, and all of a sudden it would hit, like, the movie would finally have something to say, and then it would veer away again.
Right. Well, that's because it was written by Miss
But,
Thompson.
you know,
who's
the
hot.
audience
Audience
laughed
seemed to
so
love it,
hard
though.
when they were
Yeah.
driving the car.
And
Which wasn't
that's
funny
the
at all.
thing. It wasn't funny because it had been spoiled in the trailer, you know, and the audience loved it so much that then it made it less fun. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't the kind of thing where because it felt like it was forced.
Yeah.
Partially
I
because
agree.
the first person who loved it so much was the fucking drunk woman who was clapping at it. She ruined so many.
For people
things.
listening at home, I'm doing these awesome like hand gestures that she was doing.
If I were there, I would have shut her up.
She would have.
No, I don't know.
Sarah's a
Because here's the thing,
hardcore.
Sierra.
No.
We weren't entirely sure that she wasn't mentally retarded.
Yeah, she started putting her hands up and making these jerky movements, and I was like, "Oh, she is mentally handicapped."
But I don't. But she wasn't. She was just drunk.
Sounds like my experience at Precious. I'll let you know about that later.
Oh my god.
Precious. Remember
Was
when
there
she
a-
stole
would you
KFC
say there
and
was a
ran away?
mungo in
So
the,
how did the way they were sitting even solve the problem of the car not working? I don't...
Say again?
Yeah.
No, they had stolen the front seats. So he sat in the back seat, and then Johnny Depp sat on his lap so that he could reach the gas pedal.
And that was his best solution to replacing that seat, was sitting that way?
Yeah,
I thought the car was broken because they stripped it.
No. Well, they took the front seats and the hubcaps. Yeah. That's all. Yeah, I mean that was the whole thing.
Yeah, that just seems like a forced joke.
Yeah, totally.
Oh yeah, no, it did.
And then it seemed like, oh, you knew Aaron Eckhart was a bad guy because he's the rich guy on the island, and he told those bums to get off his private beach. I tell him to get off my private beach too. Did you see that dude's eye?
Oh man.
You know it's a bad movie when you sympathize for the villain.
I'm amazed that you had such a hard time with the hamburger scene.
Well,
it
'cause
was
it was
2
retarded.
seconds. It was no. They
And I
ordered the
didn't even see
hamburgers. They ordered the hamburgers, and then the guy was
You know
like,
why?
"This place is making me depressed." So they left
Can I
because
tell
they
you-
were drunk.
Can I tell you why I hate What Dreams May Come?
Oh wow.
Because
Oh,
there's...
wait.
I'll tell you why. And
Okay.
I just broke.
Well, let me get ready a little. All
When
right.
Robin Williams is walking into the tunnel at the beginning of the car accident.
Oh yeah.
And you look on the tunnel, look to the left, you can see the fucking crane for the camera moving in on the shadow. I'm like, you just ruined the whole $100 million movie.
Can you really?
Yes.
Oh my god, that's
And it's
horrible.
clear as day. And I'm not. and
Oh,
a movie
no.
like Chasing Amy, where you can see the reflection
never
of Kevin
seen that.
Smith moving when he's following him, I forgive because it's a movie that's made for $200,000.
Yeah.
And, they have to make the movie. And that stuff drives me nuts.
But wait,
Actually,
when did the hamburger thing is not what happened in this movie. That is not what happened with the hamburgers.
I got an interesting story about that
Yeah.
reflection that I just heard on Smodcast this week, or one of the Smodcast shows. He noticed that before the movie came out, and he talked to Ben Affleck about it. And Ben Affleck said, "Look, people are going to be looking at me and not the reflection, so don't worry about it." And they did a test thing, and 7 out of 9 people didn't see it. So,
Wow.
Huh.
So maybe I'm just really picky.
yeah.
But
So 7 out of 9 people
when
are
I saw
focused
it.
on Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, he is dreamy.
What's he doing in the scene? I don't remember this at all.
Oh, it's when it's raining and they're arguing outside, and she runs away, and then
Oh.
she comes running back, and they make out, and then they fuck.
So
and
the
then Jason
reflection's
Lee
in
gets
the
all
car
pissed.
window.
It's my favorite Kevin Smith movie.
I haven't seen it in a while. I need to see it again.
But yeah, I mean, to me, it's just sloppy movie making. Like I said, the colors were wrong, and
It's a combination, I think, of sloppy movie making and intentional meandering.
yeah, I agree.
There is intentionally not a plot in this movie, and that's part of what it's about.
and that's why it's stupid. Isn't that the point of a movie, to see one with a plot?
No,
Not necessarily.
no.
What movie doesn't have a plot that's
I
great?
think that the well, give me a second.
Okay, yeah, I can't think of one because they're all. If it doesn't have a plot, it's
Teen Witch.
no. Teen Witch still has a plot.
Oh man. Anyway, yeah. I mean, it's not. I don't want to say
Okay,
that it's a
Real
good
Nerds
movie.
fans, send me an email or a Facebook message on what movie doesn't have a plot and it's good.
No, I don't mean doesn't have a plot. I mean isn't
Superman.
about the
Lawyered.
plot. I mean that it's not about the plot.
They
I mean
gotta
there
be
is
alcohol so they can get drunk and then
yeah.
bang chicks.
I mean there is a
party.
plot in this movie.
And it goes
it's just not
awry.
about the plot.
The plot in the movie is he drinks lots of rum and he doesn't write until the end, and then all of a sudden he has voiceovers.
No. He
like House of the Dead.
He gets hired. He gets entangled with these rich guys who are trying to crook some people
But they never
over.
you never found out he's even writing a brochure until he got to the island, and the dude said, "Oh, he's writing the brochure for us." Like, oh, that's what he's doing here.
No. He was supposed to be leaking stuff into the newspaper, talking about like, what they were going to build and making into this big thing. And
yeah, I know, but they never really. They said that once, and then he never showed up to the newspaper again.
Well, no, he didn't because he got drunk. That is part of the story. Then they did drugs, the stuff they dropped in their eyes, and then Hitler.
I know. Remember when you had to sit there and watch him sit there for 5 minutes?
It's
like an episode of Mad Men.
It was like 13 seconds, and then the tongue thing.
Well, for a movie that was only an hour and 50 minutes, and it seemed like 3.5 hours long, they did a terrible job.
I don't disagree.
I slept through most of it, and it felt really long.
Oh man!
It's like, is this as long as The Dark
I feel
Knight?
like I'm defending it not because I love it. Like it's not a movie I will ever buy or probably see again. But I don't despise it. I don't put this anywhere near.
And also, if you want my final argument against the movie, is it was copyrighted in 2010, which means the movie was shot over a year ago, and then it sat there. Maybe because they're working really hard on that CGI tongue.
That happens a lot. Like it's a Cabin in the Woods, which we haven't seen yet, but it's made by Joss Whedon. So,
well, I mean,
you're probably going to love
Dell
it.
and Tucker and Dale versus Evil is the same thing. But.
Yeah, no, it happens in good movies. I mean, that is a question of finding release dates where people think they're going to make their money back. That's not necessarily a sign of a bad movie.
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is.
This movie, it definitely was.
I would never want to put this movie up against like a what was that Spike Lee movie about the black guys?
Poetic Justice.
No. Do you see what I did there? What was the Spike Lee movie about the black guys? No. Miracle at St. Anna. I would never put this on next to like a Miracle at St. Anna super abortion of a film that is at no point redeeming in any way. Like I would, this is just something that I don't think works most of the time, and part of that is because of Happy claps a lot in the front seat.
The new book. Remember those books, Mr. Happy? Miss Happy claps a lot.
No,
this is a good movie.
Yeah. Hunter S. Thompson.
We haven't said that at one point in the movie when things just sort of got quiet and she was bored. Clearly, she just went Hunter S. Thompson.
Ooh.
Oh,
I was going
man.
with the two guys in front of us. Like one would just go.
It was like
once in a while.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
I didn't watch
wanna...
Beavis and Butthead. I forgot to say that, and it was awesome. But that's what they remind me of. They're like,
because those guys, like, I never told them to shut up because I never really heard them speaking as much as I just sort of heard noises from their section. Oh,
by the way, you guys should see the new Beavis and Butthead. It was amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I forgot to say that. It was. Oh my gosh, I was laughing so hard. They want to be werewolves because they saw Twilight, and they think the girls think the guys who are werewolves are sexy, so they get bit by a homeless guy. It's hilarious.
It's on MTV, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'll have to look it up.
And then they make fun of Jersey Shore and stuff. It's jeez.
Okay, I'll have to look it up because I really like Mike Judge.
I forget what Beavis says about Noah's Butthead. He said about the 16 and pregnant girls. He's like, these girls are sluts, but they're really bad people. Something like that.
Oh, man.
Freaking hilarious.
Anyway, I think we've talked a bunch about this
so
movie.
hey, next week we'll be seeing Harold and Kumar.
Yeah, in 3D.
In 3D.
In 3D?
Oh yeah.
3D.
Oh yeah. I think we have to.
But I will put an asterisk on this. I do not want to see it with a bunch of stoners, so the earlier we go, the better.
We could see it down where I live, and
that's fine.
That will avoid. Of course, we're not ever gonna go back to the Belmar again, are we?
So fuck Belmar.
All
Goodbye,
right,
Cinemark Belmar.
Yep. You suck, donkey dick.
It really does, dude. I mean, I'm gonna miss Mitzi because I was just getting to know Mitzi. She's great.
She's cool. The old lady who takes your ticket will always tell you if the movie's good. And I knew I was in trouble.
Middle-aged.
Well, I knew I was in trouble when she said, "Oh, let me know if the movie's good." So even the Rum Diary she didn't see. So
I asked her if it was gonna be scary.
And she took you literally.
Yeah.
She was like, "No, but Paranormal Activity is," and you're like,
I was like,
yeah.
I guess I'll go change my ticket then.
Yeah.
Well, we were buying tickets. They had Twilight, New Dawn Breaking Dawn. What the fuck?
Breaking Dawn.
Breaking Dawn.
New Moon was the second one, Ryan. Come on.
T-shirts for sale, and I asked the guy, I'm like, oh, sweet, dude, how much are the Twilight T-shirts? He said, oh, give me 1 second, man, I'll look on my computer. I said, I was just kidding, dude.
But it's a good sign that he doesn't know, because it means nobody's been buying them.
Yeah.
Man, that trailer, dude.
That is fucking awful.
Oh, God, I can't wait.
I can't believe I'm saying goodbye to you for the last time.
I hope half the movie is them having sex.
Why does that Tyler Lautner sound like such a bitch all the time, too? They keep on trying to pump him up as an next action star.
His nipples
he sounds
cold.
like
It's because he's
Mr.
12, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's not tough enough.
That character really does not own a shirt. I'm not kidding. Does not own a shirt.
He wore a shirt in the trailer. I saw it.
Yeah.
But then some random wolf guy fell from a tree and he didn't have a shirt on for some reason. I don't know.
Because why would you climb a tree with a shirt on?
I have no idea. What the fuck is going on in those movies?
Dude, you don't know. You don't know. I've seen those movies and I don't know what the fuck is going on in
James, you've seen those movies and your real nerd's cred is really in question.
No, man, it's amazing.
See, Brad's seen the movie, but I give him props because he dressed up like a vampire and carried the book into the movie. So Brad gets off because it was awesome.
And I wore glitter.
He wore glitter.
Brad gets off for a lot of reasons.
Yayo!
Swish, count it.
Cockmonger.
Inside joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could do that.
I'm not going to try and recreate it because we already discussed this.
You should so make an animation of a chick like
a spoof commercial.
Yeah, a spoof commercial. Yeah, it'd be funny
for cockmongers.
And
Speaking
having a chick
goes down because
we didn't talk about Dirty Bird Barbecue.
Birdman Barbecue.
I know. You didn't do it. So
hey, buy Birdman Barbecue at Ace Hardware. You can also like us on Facebook. Follow us at realnerds.tumblr.com. Email us, because you never have, at realnerds@gmail.com.
No, really, if you email us, I will pay for your ticket to go see a movie with Brad.
Yeah.
Well, not a movie, Anonymous. You have to go see Anonymous.
And there is a Real Nerds contest, and whoever sends us the best email gets to go see Anonymous with Brad.
No. That's not what I said. Whoever sends us an email... One of them will get to go to Anonymous.
So you could be like, hey, you guys suck, and then you get to go to the movie with me.
No, send us the best email, and you get to go see Anonymous with Brad, paid for by James.
But most likely, just sending us an email that has your name in it will be the best email.
It probably will be.
I mean, that's the chances that...
Winning is really easy.
And you know what?
This isn't a trick.
I will say this.
And the prizes are really mediocre.
Ladies, Brad is a great company to have. He's handsome. He has this boyish, ruggish charm about him right now. He has a beard, and he's also young.
Boyish,
ruggish charm. I don't know.
He's a very
voice.
Yeah.
He's like a 12-year-old with a beard.
He scares my dog. He's manly and.
Tell us all the reasons Brad is dreamy for a free ticket.
Yeah. Please tell us why Brad
I will be judging them.
And whoever Brad names is the most dreamy.
James
Please send a pic.
To go to the movie with me.
Whoever sends the best pic of themselves gets to go
send
see
me
preferably
pictures.
nudity.
Yeah.
Unless, Anyways,
clothing
bye.
optional.